why am I not getting clear answers to this? The question is very simple. Renuka Chaudhary, would you like to come in on the debate on Rajwana? Mr. Grewal doesn't want to, doesn't want to answer questions on this. We are on slippery ground here.
I don't want to enter this issue, Arnav, because just now we are being blamed despite doing what we did. We are being blamed either way, and they're still raising questions on the integrity of us as a government when Afzal Guru has been hung. And they're taking the moral high ground on preaching about how terror is a unifying factor against which we should fight. All that very well. They should answer this. Let them answer for Rajwana, and we'll take a position after that.
Well, the state government came and lobbied with the centre on Rajwana.
Yes, but the state government has to elaborate and come out in public and say it.
Yes. Yes, go ahead. Yes, Mr. Prasad.
My point I have told you now, the BJP state position is very clear and categorical. We don't want any discrimination on this issue. But if an application has been filed, certainly the government of India must give its comment and let the president take a final decision. And let the law take its own course. The decision has been taken by the Supreme Court. In the case of Bhullar, we had taken very seriously. I remember myself making comments in public in my press conferences. Therefore, our stand is very clear. But today, if the application for clemency is there, we would expect the government of India to expedite its disposal at the earliest. What is wrong with that? And then the law take its own course. Our stand is very clear, I told you.
Well, the court said the entire thing is a drama. When the person is convicted of a murder of a chief minister in broad daylight, it is being noticed that the person is guilty of terrorism. In this case, he has found support of political parties. Political parties have garnered support from such persons. How can they now lead them? These are observations of the court, sir. I'm not making them up. I'd now like to go across to Dilip Padgaonkar. I don't want to stay only focused on this one particular issue. Dilip Padgaonkar, have these groups that have so-called built the argument about Afzal Guru being a victim, despite the way in which the court was very generous with S.A.R. Gilani, who's giving these groups legitimacy, in your view? And have these groups been cornered a little bit with the public mood these days?
The people who are giving legitimacy to these groups are those who practice human rights in an extremely selective manner. These are groups who fundamentally go along with separatists in Kashmir who are against India, against the Indian state, against the system itself of a democratic republic. So, my first observation therefore is these outfits and their fellow travelers, because they have fellow travelers, what I call soft separatists, these are the people who have been waiting for a day like this because they knew that time was running out for them. Do not forget that since the summer of 2010, there has been a very, very rapid change for the better on the ground. Look at the number of militant incidents that have taken place, the amount of infiltration has gone down, the huge numbers of tourists and pilgrims who visited Jammu and Kashmir. I think there were people who were extremely disturbed by this return to normalcy. And especially so, and this has been said openly by the terrorist groups stationed in POK, that once the Americans begin to withdraw from Afghanistan, you wait and watch, the so-called jihad or the freedom struggle is going to heighten. Therefore, I think rather than spend time arguing about whether due process was followed, not followed, whether this is political, not political, our immediate concerns should be that we as a nation ought to stand with the people of Jammu and Kashmir. We need to stand with the government and the administration of the state to ensure that these people who are inimical to India, they do not go up to
who's mollycoddling them?
Mischief is nipped in the bud.
We know. Who's mollycoddling them is my question. Who's mollycoddling them? Renuka Chaudhary, we are allowing your government, both in the centre and in Jammu and Kashmir, in which you are a coalition partner, is very determined to mollycoddle with and engage with separatists, forgetting the true face of these men who have openly in the last few weeks undermined the sovereignty of India by having meetings in Pakistan with globally declared terrorists, including the mastermind of 2611 Hafiz Saeed. We asked this question, I'm sure Ravi Shankar Prasad will remember this, we put out an exclusive report on this 2 weeks back. There was no action from your government, either in Delhi or in Srinagar. Why are you giving such a long rope to these pro-Pakistan, anti-India separatists, Renuka Chaudhary?
Arnav, I don't think it is fair to oversimplify what the issue is. It is far more complex than this, and there is no either-or solution to this. And I don't think we can trivialize what the government is doing. There are two governments involved in this, and believe you me, work is going on. It's not something that we can air on national television or come out and say things at this point in time. And I think all of us collectively have a responsibility that we keep this in the right direction and not create a hype about it for things to arrive at a natural conclusion. You will appreciate that we cannot posture. We do not have
that's always the reply that I receive. That's always the reply that I receive from those in power. That Kashmir is too sensitive a subject for us to share the details of with you. I just want to ask you one simple question, Renuka Chaudhary. These people have snubbed you. These people have snubbed the government. They have snubbed Dilip Padgaonkar.
It doesn't matter.
They have snubbed Dilip Padgaonkar, who headed the team of government-appointed interlocutors. They told Dilip Padgaonkar, we will not meet you. Then they have no qualms in going to Pakistan and meeting the leadership of the ISI and Hafiz Saeed.
The process is on.
So what?
Yeah, this is not something on egos. We are not considered. We are not taking their snub or whatever you think. You don't even know what's actually happening. And I'm sorry, I cannot come out and tell you what is happening on national TV. I think we should watch very carefully and be very guarded. I mean, this is really not tea-time television discussion.
No.
This is a lot more serious and a lot more sensitive.
No. Dilip Padgaonkar wants to come back on that point.
I merely want to say that we now need to look ahead. I just want to remind all your listeners that the Prime Minister appointed 5 working groups. They appointed the group of interlocutors. These 6 groups have given a huge number of recommendations to address the political, economic, social and cultural issues facing the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Some of these recommendations have been implemented, some others are in the pipeline. But the key thing was that these recommendations needed to be discussed at a political level. It took the government of India 6 months to make that report public, and after that, there has really been no serious discussion on that situation. That situation, therefore, has been left to
That's the point, Renuka Chaudhary. That's the point, Ms. Chaudhary. And I want to continue to ask you why. Yes, Ravi Shankar Prasad, you want to come in right now? Go ahead, please. Ravi Shankar Prasad, please, and then I'll follow up. I have one more point to Renuka Chaudhary. Yes, Mr. Prasad.
No, I want to make it very clear one thing. Kashmir of 2013 is not the Kashmir of 1984 or Kashmir of 1989, 90 or 91. Thousands of innocent Kashmiris have been killed by terrorists from across the border, sponsored from the soil of Pakistan. Many religious leaders have been killed. So many panches, sarpanch and others of the Gram Panchayats have been killed, which has been so elaborately discussed by you in a very courageous manner, for which I need to compliment you. Therefore, the people of Jammu and Kashmir, peace-loving people, have seen through the game of terrorists. But yes, you are completely right. These separatists who maintain a conspicuous silence when so many innocent are killed, whether it is Gilani or others, when they go to Pakistan, how did Pakistan permit them to meet Hafiz Saeed? And if they met, what kind of protest did Government of India register with Pakistan? Those are issues, because Hafiz Saeed stands the principal accused of 2611 massacre in Mumbai. Therefore, I quite see the validity of your point that if these separatists who do not enjoy political clout. They have fought elections, they have been rejected. But if they go to Pakistan, why did the government of Pakistan permit or facilitate their meeting with Hafiz Saeed? And if it did the government of India lodge any protest? That's a point, very important point, need to be appreciated and highlighted.
Renuka Chaudhary, you must reply on that one. We can't, the question is back again, and I think there is a very valid context tonight in which Ravi Shankar Prasad is asking you that question. No, Renuka Chaudhary, let us not forget these are these separatists who stoked the fires in the turbulent summer of 2010 at the behest of their masters in Pakistan. You will remember that Gilani's sinister plans were exposed. Paid agents of the ISI giving orders to people to carry out stone pelting were caught on tape. The transcripts were put out, if you remember that report on Times Now of the Pakistani agents telling their, their units in Kashmir to create trouble. Why don't you just, isolate the Hurriyat, the pro-Pakistan group, and as Dilip Padgaonkar says, they're fellow travelers?
Arnav, I do not wish to address this issue at this juncture when there's very sensitive work going on. And I really don't want to join this issue at this point. Yes, sometime later I can tell you what exactly happened at this point. But I'm sorry, I'm not going to jeopardize anything. And it's all right for others to have their opinions about what we're doing as Government of India. The governments will answer for that. But I don't think it's right at this point for us to take up this issue. You have to keep in mind the people of Jammu and Kashmir. And it is sensitive. Let's not trivialize.
Are you suggesting that Dilip Padgaonkar and Ravi Shankar Prasad are being irresponsible in asking questions about why you are soft on people who have meetings with Hafiz Saeed? Dilip Padgaonkar, is there something so sensitive that we can't take a position on an issue of non-national that matters to national security?